My name is Alex, this is Tyler helping me out today, and we are going to go over 5 tips to maximize your back squat. Now I know a lot of people don't utilize the back squat in their training, however it's one of the movements that we program around here at Par for Success, and if you're not already, maybe you can utilize into your program a little bit more, as it is the most efficient in building lower body strength, vertical power, can be very well equipped with your golf swing to make you hit the ball further. So we are going to go over the 5 tips that I think from my own experience building my back squat, it can really benefit anyone. Whereas everybody's going to squat differently, looks differently when they squat. Everybody, no matter what, no matter if you're goblet squatting, front squatting, but especially for back squatting, you can really take away from this and the 5 tips that I'll go to. Okay, so the first 2 tips we're going to go over involve your feet and your knees. Tip number 1, utilize your 3 points of contact. Thinking about the feet here. So think about your foot, both your feet, as a tripod. You have your tripod. If you take one of the 3 points away, you're going to fall over. It's going to fall over. It's going to fade to one side. So your tripod on your foot, looking at Tyler here, he's going to think about his heel, his big toe, and his pinky toe. He is evenly distributing the weight on all 3 points of contact on both feet. Now, if I tell Tyler to fixate on his heels only, one of his 3 points, and he does a squat, just fixate on your heels, Tyler. Yep, his toes come up, he's kind of falling backwards there, he's a little unstable. Come on up. Now, if I say focus on your toes, Tyler, you're squatting down, he's going to come forward, his heels comes up, and he's kind of unbalanced there as well. Now I say, Tyler, think about your heel, big toe, pinky toe pressing through the ground. It's going to go down nice and stable, bar stays over the feet. Good tracking, and that's a more efficient way to produce a load in the squat. Okay, so that is not only going to keep you stable, but maximize the amount of weight you can squat. Tip number 2, we're going to talk about the knees. So another common mistake that we see, whether it comes from an imbalance or just what we're thinking about, is knee cave. So Tyler, do a squat and go ahead and let your knees cave in. Okay, we see this a lot in the squat, right? Go ahead, come up. Now, do one, and I'm going to tell him to actively push his knees out. So push your knees out over to the outsides of your toes. See how it tracks outward? Good. So what we're doing there is we're utilizing the glutes a little more to get a little more power in the way up on the squat. Okay? With knee cave, you not only lose a lot of power coming up, but you put yourself at risk for a lot of injury, damaging the inside of your knee, your medial meniscus, and we want to avoid that obviously as much as possible. So as I tell him, go ahead and do a squat, Tyler, drive your knees outward. Yep, he's utilizing his glutes more efficiently, can produce more power coming up. Okay, the second 2 places we're going to focus on are the elbow position and the chin position or the neck position. So focusing on the elbows, a lot of times you will see people, especially as the load on their back gets heavier, do this little elbow flare when especially they're coming up in the squat. They'll be pushing against the barbell and their elbows will flare. So go ahead and do an example of that, Tyler. Go down the squat. When you come up, let your elbows flare. See that? Yeah. So we don't want that to happen. Couple things are happening here. We are internally rotating at the shoulder, and we're also getting this little trap elevation, this little shrug in the shoulders. Go ahead and do that again. I see the shoulder shrug and his elbows come forward. So not only are you missing out on a lot of force being put into the barbell, we're trying to drive that barbell up. We're putting ourselves in a compensated position to damage our maybe a little neck injury or a shoulder injury. So what I'm going to cue Tyler to do is drive his elbows down and in, kind of protect his armpits. So if I were to go reach for his armpit, he's going to squeeze and protect his armpit. Okay, so do that, Tyler. Go down, drive your elbows down. Good. See how his elbows almost stay in line with his spine as he goes up and down? It's nice and neutral with the spine. Do one more. There we go. Perfect. Good. So he's not flaring. He's underneath. He's utilizing more force, pushing into the barbell with his back. That's a very efficient way to protect your elbows, your neck, and push more load. Okay. Tip number 4 is going to be our neck position or our chin position. So also very common, we'll see a lot of people look up or look down in their squat. Now, if Tyler does a squat and he looks up when he comes up, so go ahead and do that. Look up. Yep. Good. So we're thinking again as a system. We want this back to be nice and flat. You can see from his pelvis to his neck when he does that, It's up, and then his neck is not in line with his spine when he does that. He's like cranking his neck back, putting himself at risk for a lot of neck injury. Now on the opposite, if he looks down too much, if he completely looks down, go ahead and do one there. Yep. Same thing. He's not really in line, and he's also at fault for falling more forward possibly and almost falling completely forward. And we obviously don't want that. So a good cue is not only to tuck the chin, but I like to say create a double chin. So something that you wouldn't do on a regular basis walking down the street. But if you create like a double chin, retract your chin, go ahead and do that, Tyler. Yeah, go do 2 more of those. Look how his neck is in line with his spine here. It's a nice straight line. Good. Awesome. So looks a lot better. His spine is in a nice, flat, straight line. He's able to produce more force in the barbell, focus on his legs and not his neck. And that is tip number 4. All right, tip number 5. One I get the most excited about because I'm weird and I really like this stuff. So then we're going to talk about maximizing your walkout. It's the littlest thing, but can really add a lot to your squat. It can save so much energy and make you really perform a more efficient squat. So first we're going to do the wrong way to unrack a squat, and what you may do already, but no fault. That's why you're watching this. We're going to fix it. So first thing we usually see people, you're getting under the barbell, you're taking off the weight. You'll like get in a split stance usually, get the barbell up, and then take your time walking all the way back. He's out of here. He's taking the weight with him. Okay, come back in here, Tyler. All right, all the way back in. Okay, so you lose so much energy unracking that squat, especially if you are squatting a good amount, you got weight on the bar. You'd be surprised on how much your muscles can utilize that energy quickly, so that when you go to actually perform the squat, you're already tired, you're not going to squat as much. So to properly unrack the bar, we're going to make this as efficient and minimal as possible. Okay, so to start this, Tyler's going to get under the barbell, and he's going to get in his squat position already. So his feet will already be where he wants them to be when he actually performs a squat. Okay, perfect right there. And from here, he's just going to stand up. And now I say 3 steps, 4 steps tops he's taken out. That was good right there. Okay, you don't need more than that. I like 1, 2, 3. If you need a 4th, that's okay to kind of set yourself. But if you can walk out in like 3 steps, you're going to save so much energy before you go into producing that squat. So let's see that again. Tyler, go and do that again. So, yep. So hips are going to be, feet right underneath his hips. Okay, he's got his good squat stance. He's going to stand. 1, 2, 3. He's set. He's ready to perform his squat. He saved so much energy, and now he has a lot more in the tank when going to actually produce the squat. All right, thank you, Tyler. You can bring that back in. Awesome. So I hope you took away from these 5 squat tips. It's a lot to think about. Maybe take one at a time. Try and perfect that before moving on to the next one. Kind of like a golf swing, you can always master and perfect your technique over time. So work on these 5 things, see if they give you any more energy and more excitement kind of working on your squat. I can guarantee that it's going to put weight on the bar for you, help you get stronger without injury. So give us a like if you enjoyed this. Go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.